What the hell was that? What was that, Sony? You know what that was? That was your best state of play presentation by far. Look at my track record. Usually at state of plays, I don't really get all that excited. I'm kind of like, it was okay. It was all right. This, though, this was fire. Fuego. Let's just talk about what we saw during this presentation, because I think this really puts Sony in a very good position starting off all of these summer games fest and, summer announcements that we're going to be getting from companies. First off, they're just like, hey, Resident Evil 4 remake. And yes, that's a Capcom game. 99% of these games are third-party games, but when you're able to get the licensing for these games, as far as having things like trailers on your presentation, that's a huge deal. Resident Evil 4 Remake is confirmed. It's coming out on March 24th of 2023, and it feels like way more haunting than the original game in this trailer. Really, Resident Evil 4 to me was more of an action game with horror elements in it. I don't think many people got scared playing that game. Maybe the Las Plagas stuff towards the end of the game, but this looks absolutely terrifying. They didn't really show a whole lot from the gameplay side of things, what's changed, what's been added into the game, but I don't care. I don't care, because even if they just took the core Resident Evil 4 game and just used these pretty graphics for it, that would be good enough, but that they're going to do more with it. They actually said that there's going to be PSVR 2 content included in the game as well, so hell of a way to start off this presentation. Just wow. I honestly, at this point, I was just kind of like, okay, well, this is the best state of play that we've gotten yet. It's got the best announcements thus far, and we've only talked about one game. Then we moved into some PlayStation VR 2 stuff. They actually didn't show off the hardware. They didn't show off any pricing of the hardware or release date, but Resident Evil Village is confirmed for PSVR 2. I might actually replay it in PSVR 2 because of the fact that this game wasn't really scary. Resident Evil 7 was scary as hell. Resident Evil 8 or Resident Evil Village, just to me, it wasn't. It was definitely more of that action-orientated game, but I feel like in a VR perspective, you could definitely get a lot more fear going on with that. There's actually dual wielding support in this as well, with two guns, one gun in each hand, so I thought that was pretty cool. We also got Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Retribution 2. I didn't know there was a 1. It actually looks kind of fun. I thought it was like Dying Light at first, but no, it is indeed a Walking Dead game. Looks like you're in a big city. There's lots of zombies to shoot and kill. You have a chainsaw in it as well, so you can just mow down through people, and that's, I think, a lot of people's, ideal situation with zombies, just having a chainsaw and then ripping through them like in Dead Rising. And then Horizon VR Call of the Mountain was next. This was actually the only first-party Sony game that was at this presentation. Well, kind of. I'll put a little asterisk next to that. But Horizon VR Call of the Mountain was something that I was curious about. Now, let's just get this out of the way. It's not going to be a full-on huge Horizon style game. I don't think many people expected it to be that way, but the indications I got from this trailer was that, hey, it's not really going to be like that, but it's also not going to be an on-rail simulator like I was kind of worried about the game being. It honestly looks really good from a graphical perspective. Sometimes these VR games get a bit dumbed down. It looks like basically you're playing as Reyes and you have to scale a mountain to find out why the machines are attacking people, and then once you get to the top of the mountain, you actually get your freedom. You're taken there as a prisoner. That's the whole boat mechanic, and then you go up this mountain and you fight different enemies in this area. I think it looks pretty cool. I do want to see more of it, price point and stuff like that, but game length, I think, will sort of be a very interesting thing to follow with this as well. But the first impression, I actually kind of liked it. I didn't think I was going to be interested in it, but I definitely kind of like it. You're also getting an update for Horizon Forbidden West today as well that adds New Game Plus to the game, so that's pretty cool. Spider-Man took a dump in a coffee can. It's coming to PC on August 12th. I hope that's good for your health. Look out. Here comes that Spider-Man. Spider-Man's coming to PC. I don't really care because I don't really play PC games, but I am curious to see what the modding community does, and that's a big Sony title to come to PC. This was our other first-party Sony game that was in this presentation. Very interesting to see. Stray was showcased next, which is, of course, the game about the cat. I'm not a fan of cats. I don't like cats. I don't like the Broadway musical Cats. I'm not really into real life cats, but you know what? The game actually looks okay. And you know, that pains me to say it. It hurts. It hurts in my heart. It hurts in my soul. But I think the game itself looks okay. I'm still kind of interested in how what your objective is, why you're here, what you're doing. But you play as a cat. You jump around on different stuff in this sort of cyberpunk-like city. I don't know. It looks kind of cool. Next up was a game called The Callisto Project, which is actually a game done by Dead Space developers. And wowzers! Wow, this looks freaking amazing. It definitely looks like a Dead Space style game, but like what they showed was, you know, what I want from games in this style. It looked creepy. It was gory. It was scary as hell. These creatures themselves, they can like mutate and stuff, and they're like trying to eat your face off. The character models themselves looked really good. The world you're in looked really good as well. I was very impressed by this game. This was a game that I wasn't super familiar with, and now it's like, okay, this is a must-play title for me. Like, I really want to play this. I enjoy horror games in this style, so I think this is something that's going to be absolutely awesome. This game will be coming out on December 2nd, so it is a 2022 game, so that's really cool. Next up, we saw a game called Roller Drome. It's shooting guns on roller skates in a comic book-like setting that kind of is like in, you know, like a skate park. I don't know. I don't know, why not? You're going off the walls with crazy stuff in this presentation. Why not have a game like this in it? So yeah, that was kind of interesting. I probably won't play it. Eternights is an anime style action game. I think the gameplay itself looked actually kind of cool. It looked kind of like, you know, Devil May Cry, Bayonetta style of gameplay, but evidently there's a dating sim portion of the game as well. It's a dating sim adventure game. I'm not quite sure how I feel about this. I'm not the biggest, you know, Japanese culture weeaboo person, but like, hey, you know, maybe it'll be cool. Maybe I should get like a girlfriend between then and now, and she could play the dating sim stuff, and I could just play the adventure stuff. That would be kind of fun. Like challenge, 10,000 likes in 24 hours. I'll go and I'll actually be a committed adult and find a nice lady for a relationship, and we will play Eternights together. Capcom, what are you doing to me? You're dropping bombs in the state of play, and I can't handle it. Street Fighter 6 was up next. Just, what the hell? Do you remember Capcom's presentation last year during E3 with Brittany Brombacher? It was the stupidest, and no disrespect to Brittany, and I've known her for a very long time, but that presentation had nothing in it. There was nothing in it. Nothing. Literally nothing. And this presentation, Capcom was like, hey, you know what? Let's just drop some bombs on everyone. Street Fighter 6 got our first look at the game. It seems like there's a story mode in the game, because there's a portion of it where you're like traveling in a city, kind of like an open world area that looks a lot like New York City doing stuff. I don't really know. They didn't really explain it all that well, but it did look very interesting. And then we got some characters. Chun-Li and Ryu were shown along with some other characters. There was two other people. I don't know if they're new characters. I never really played Street Fighter V because it just left a bad taste in my mouth how barren that game was when it first came out. So pretty much everything up to Ultra Street Fighter 4 is where I know my characters from, and they did not look familiar to me. I am sorry if they are long-time characters, but I don't know, they just don't look familiar to me. But really, the gameplay looks awesome. I thought it looked really awesome. I saw a lot of people not happy with the use of like colors and stuff, because it's kind of like the colors of the characters and the backgrounds are a little bit muted, and like when you do attacks, they kind of have like a little trail on them of like additional colors. Some people didn't really like that. I thought it was cool though. Like, I thought it was something a little bit different. It was something a little bit more unique for Street Fighter, and I think it works. I'm getting a lot of, you know, Ultra Street Fighter 4 vibes from this game, and like, that's good. You know, Street Fighter 4 was a freaking phenomenal game. I don't care what system you play. Even the 3DS version of the game was a banger. It was a banger of a game. Just don't use those touch controls, you online bastards, you cheap online bastards with guile, just spamming shit. But I love Street Fighter 4 on the Xbox 360 and on the DS, or 3DS. So this game, I definitely got the vibes of that from it. So just awesome, awesome stuff. Then, of course, we got to slow things down a little bit. Tunic is coming to PlayStation. I believe it comes out in August. I've heard good things about the game. It's essentially an old school Zelda style game, but you play as a fox instead. A fox. But, you know, I have heard good things about the game. A lot of people seem to like it, so that's cool. I don't really care. Then we got our artsy-fartsy game. You gotta have an artsy-fartsy game. It's a game called Seasons. I don't know what happened in this trailer. There was like a chick, she was riding her bike, and then she was hanging out with old people. She took like a picture of old people. She wrote some stuff down in a journal. She got back on her bike again. Now she's like laying in grass and like looking up at the sky. I don't know what the hell's going on here, but I thought the graphical style of the game looked nice. So, I'm saying something nice about Seasons. And then how are we going to finish off this presentation? Are we going to finish it with Seasons? We had joy. We had fun. We had Seasons in the sun. No, we're not. We will end it with a banger. Final Fantasy XVI, and just, oh my God. After Final Fantasy 15, and with all the problems happening with Square Enix, there's reason to be hesitant about this game. There's reason to have a little bit of doubt. Let's be real. Final Fantasy 15 was like a boy band looking game, and I don't think a lot of people wanted that from it. It was obviously something very different. Final Fantasy 16, though, this shit looks awesome. I don't care what anyone says. This looks awesome. It has a medieval theme to it instead of that boy band stuff. The combat is more action-based like we've been seeing with a lot of these games, but I think the combat itself looks really, really fun. There's huge, massive monsters and other characters you're battling, and there's summons. They also showed some of the summons in the game as well. It almost looked like, and I'm not saying this is confirmed, but I think you might actually be able to like control the summons and like move them around and like, tell them to attack and stuff like that. And in real time, like you actually control them more so than they just sort of do their own thing, which, I mean, that'd be freaking cool. That'd be really cool. Just, yes, it looked absolutely epic. And I have no idea what was happening in the story. They kept showing these characters. I'm like, I don't know who these people are. Like, you could give them a name and you could be like, oh, this is for my kingdom and I'm going to, keep things in my kingdom. I don't know who you are. Like, I have to play the game, but I don't care. The game itself looked phenomenal. The graphics looked phenomenal. The gameplay looked phenomenal. And we actually have a release time for this game. They say that it's going to be a summer 2023 game. I'm surprised. I definitely thought this would be holiday 2023, maybe early 2024. So, I mean, there's always the chance that the game will get delayed or something like that. But just, wow. You could tell, like, I'm genuinely excited in this video. Like, I enjoy talking about this stuff because there was so much stuff in here that it was like, sometimes I say I feel like this presentation wasn't for me. It was for a different type of gamer. But this one was like, hey, let's do something for RGT. State of Plays, RGT's been really negative about them. Let's have one that's just going to make him very happy. And Sony just knocked it out of the park with this. The crazy thing, I don't know what this is, but we're doing it. The crazy thing to think about, though, is this. There wasn't shit for first-party games at this. This was all third-party stuff. And it was just like, wow. Like, yes, some of these games are coming to Xbox as well. Like, let's call a spade with that. But the fact that Sony was able to get the marketing for these games is very important, I feel. Because, third-party games, when a company is allowed to announce them and showcase them before another company is able to do it in their own presentations, like, that's a big win, because now people will sort of gravitate towards that version of the game because they assume that that's the one that's going to be maybe a little bit better, maybe has a little more polish on it, maybe a little less bugs at the release date, or maybe they just don't think of the fact that, hey, this is a multi-platform game. With games like the Callisto Protocol, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Final Fantasy 16, I mean, Street Fighter 6, the list goes on and on with this presentation, but like, I'm impressed. I am genuinely impressed, and the fact that there was no first-party stuff in this just blows my mind. It blows my mind that I was so into this presentation, that I was so happy watching it, and it was just awesome. It was awesome. It's awesome to see some of these games. Awesome to get information on some of these games. Awesome to learn more about these games. Get gameplay. That's another big thing here, folks. There wasn't much CGI bullshit in this presentation at all. Most of it was gameplay, and it's like, you cracked the code, Sony. You figured it out. You figured out what people want to see in these presentations. So, salute, Sony. You nailed this. I am now excited for my PlayStation 5 beyond just getting angry and quitting in the middle of a Gran Turismo 7 race because some asshole spins me out and doesn't even get a penalty, and then it ruins my race, and then I'm not going to win. I'm not even going to be, top 5 anymore because this dick shit, that's a word, just spins me out. But you know what? I'm excited for my PlayStation 5. PlayStation 5 owners, things are looking good. Things are looking damn good. So let me know what you thought of this presentation in the comments section down below. Obviously, I gushed about it very long. What didn't I like about it? Nothing, really. I mean, the pacing was great. The game announcements were great. I feel like there was something for everyone, you know, even like the indie fans or the non-hardcore gamers. You had games like Stray and Season. Like, wow. And as always, thank you for watching this video. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and share. And as always, I will catch you guys on the next video. Later.